Hey y'all, and welcome back to Leonard Creek
Farm.
Today we are going to dehydrate some apples. We have a grocery bag of apples that were given to us. We have a bushel at the farm at my mother-in-law's house, and we went ahead and brought a grocery bag full, and I'm going to try my hand the first time at dehydrating apples. Got some trays over here, and we're going to clean the trays up. Yeah. You just seen we washed the trays up. Next we're going to get the fruit out. I'm going to go ahead and wash these apples because I haven't done anything with them. I haven't washed them or anything. We'll wash them, and then we're going to cut and core these apples. It says somewhere between a half an inch pieces on the directions, and so that's what we're going to do. I do want to show you the dehydrator. This is the I think it's Presto Dehydro Food Dehydrator is the one we're using, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 trays. Alright, I've got a bowl full here. I'm not exactly where this is my first time dehydrating. I'm not exactly sure how many apples it will hold. So I'm just going to do, a few at a time and fill that tray up as I cut. That way I can know exactly how many apples we need to do. Something I'm also going to do is fill a bowl full of cool water with some lemon juice. That way my apples don't discolor. So I've got my lemon water here. I also have a empty bowl here that I will be putting my my scraps in, the cores and things like that. I don't like throwing cores and pieces like that away because you can turn around and use those pieces to make apple juice, apple jelly. You just gotta boil those down, and so we don't want to waste nothing if we don't have to.
Right here.
With Lakey's help coring, we got quite a few apples done here. I've got them sitting in this lemon water. I'm going to let them sit for just a few more minutes, and then we'll start stocking trays. We got a whole bowl here of our lemon water and the apples inside of it. And then there's our cores. That's quite a few apples, or quite a few pieces from just so little apples. We still got a few left here, but I want to make sure that I'm not over cutting apples. So we're going to start putting them in the trays once they sit in the lemon water for a few minutes. I told you all wrong. I said a half an inch. It says cut them in about an eighth of an inch slices. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the bottom tray and
Work our way up.
we'll work our way up and add the apples to the tray. Alright guys, we're on the last tray here, and that one's got a soft spot on it. I think just one more apple to fill this tray. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and core this last apple so we can get it on here, and then we'll get started dehydrating. According to my machine, it should take around 8 hours, it said. So once we get it started, I will set the timer and we can get it for 8 hours. And I'm not going to soak these last couple pieces because I soaked all the rest of them. It should be alright. You just soak them to keep the color of the apples. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, well, let's get the top on. We're going to go ahead and put this lid on. It says it's going to take about 8 hours to get these dehydrated. And so as soon as I plug this in, we'll start the timer. And we'll put it on for 8 hours.
Yay!
Actually, I might just go ahead and cut all these up. And we'll go ahead and soak them and get our juice tonight. I'm going to work on trying to can some more apple jelly this week. Everybody seems to like it. I've given it as gifts, and we like it as well. Everybody seems to like it. It's super easy to get that juice down and super easy to can. And so that's what we're going to do tonight with the rest of the apples. Like I said, the dehydrator's going, and we've got about an hour into the time that it has been dehydrating. So we're going to go ahead and work on getting the rest of these 20 or so apples cut up. Alright, we got a few apples in this bowl that I cleaned earlier. Lakin's going to clean the rest of the apples that was in that box. I'm just going to cut these up into kind of smaller pieces. That way they'll boil down a little bit better. But we don't have to get them perfect. We just want them to boil down, like I said. I've completely changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and do some canning apples as well. And so it just seems like a waste because these are perfectly good apples. They don't have any issues with them. They're not soft or anything like that. It just seems like a waste to not can at least some of them, what we call fried apples. So we soak them in the sugar overnight. Just seems like a waste. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now they're going to need cored and peeled though. We've done cut this many up, so I'm going to go through and peel them and cut the core pieces out of them, because I didn't even worry about that. I just cut them in half and stuff. So I'm going to work through those and go ahead and do that. And then once we're done, we'll get these sitting on sugar. I happen to go through and peel these apples. Lakin's cutting the cores out of them for us. And I'm going through and chunking the apples and saving the peels. We'll boil down the peels and the cores over here that she's cutting out. I'm going to go through and peel all of these apples and then put them under some sugar. Okay guys, here's the plan. We've got about a full bowl and over a half, almost a full bowl. These are 4-quart bowls, I think, of apple peels. Here they are. What we're going to do is boil these down and get as much juice out of them as possible. These aren't as juicy as the last apples that we did, but they're plenty good enough. And sorry, I'm out of the camera view. They're plenty good enough, and they're definitely going to give us and produce us some juice. Now, even after we let these soak to get the juice out of them, I don't know what Lakin's doing back there. After we soak and get the juice out of these, I'm going to give these peels and stuff to the chickens to eat. They're going to become really, really mushy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fill the water up to about here. I'm just going to run some warm water in the pot here. And we're going to just let this simmer down. I'm going to put a lid over top of it. And we're just going to try to get as much juice as possible. Now we could let this run for hours. You could probably put this in a crock pot. If you had a little bit less than this would not fit in my crock pot. Or just like a larger pot of some sort that's similar to a crock pot. I can't think, a roaster pot or something. I can't think of what those are called. But you can let them cook down for a really long time and try to get as much juice out of them as you can. Yeah, I mean, you can get quite a bit of juice out of this stuff. What I'm going to do is try to get as much juice out of it before I go to bed. It's almost 10 o'clock now, about 20 minutes till, and so I will probably cook this down and then turn around tomorrow and maybe try to get some more juice out of it. After that, we're going to take the juice and we're going to turn this into apple jelly. We've got the apple peels and cores in the pot now on the stove. We got it at a low simmer there. Now we're going to fool with these apples. Now, I've done a video on canning the apples and doing the apple jelly. And if I can remember, I will try to link it down below. I don't want to make this video about doing that because I've got a video for that. But we are processing the apples in a few different ways today. And I did want to show you, that there's a big variety of ways to process them. And, of course, I was super excited about getting my dehydrator out. I'm going to show you how we do these apples. And then we won't talk about them anymore. You can watch the video. Like I said, I will try to remember to put that down in the description. Before I put the sugar on, I do want to show you the last video I made. I mean, you can tell there's a few peels on here. That's not that big of a deal to me. The last time I made apples, I didn't cut them this large. I cut them about this, even smaller than this. A little bit thinner than this. And this go around, I'm going to try to, as you can tell, cut them a little bit thicker. Because when I canned the apples, they got kind of mushy. Here's one that it's a little bit thinner. As you can tell, that's quite a bit thinner than this. And they got mushy. And so I'm going to see if cutting them a little bit thicker this go around kind of helps with that mushiness. Because you do have to cook these down after you let them soak in the sugar overnight. You do have to cook these down and then can them. And with the cooking them down and pressure canning them, they just get a little too soft. So we're going to try cutting them a little bit thicker this time and see how that works. I do want to say as well, the recipe that I used last time called for 8 to 10 cups of sugar. This go around, I'm just going to do 6. I did 8 last time, and it was just, I think it was 8.5, and it was just too much. They are really, really sweet. It's not horribly sweet, the ones that I canned, but they're pretty sweet. They're sweeter than what I would like. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the recipe down and just do 6 instead. Alright guys, it's the next morning. Here's the apples. They got done about 4 o'clock this morning, and so we got up and we got them out. Now we're going to take them off the trays here, and I'm just going to put them in a mason jar. Might take 2 of these to fill them up, but we'll get started. Alright guys, we got them in the jar. It was about 2.5 trays to fill this jar up here, and then it was the last 2 trays to fill that jar up there. And so that worked out great. This is a super easy process. It was super fun to do, and I'm super excited to see where the dehydrating leads me. There's so many things I want to dehydrate. The apples were just the first thing, and they turned out really pretty and beautiful, and I can't wait to use these. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this 2-day video. We started last night, but we finished this morning. I am super excited for where the dehydrating is going to lead us. I'm super, just super interested in seeing how much I can dry out and use. And so we started with the apples, and they turned out beautifully. I did dry them until they broke. I had seen somebody using apples for kefir water the other day, which is pretty neat. And so we might think about doing something like that with them. Here are the apples that are soaking overnight. They're building up their juices. You can kind of see on the edge here, right there where their juice is at. We'll be canning those this evening, along with making some jelly from the juice that we cooked down last night. But I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and I hope that we can see you again. We'll see you later. Bye.